This is the Aptitude Outdoors Podcast.
What is this? You should know, Butt Munch. This is Manowar. Cool. But why is he on this stupid podcast? I don't know. Podcasts are stupid. No, you're stupid, dumbass. It's Aptitude Outdoors. It's like about trees or something. Manowar rules. Who's that other guy? I don't know, dude. Some writer guy or something. Writing is stupid. Yeah, writing is for nerds. Nerds. Shut up, Beavis. Let's watch this stupid thing.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Aptitude Outdoors Podcast. Thanks for tuning back in here on YouTube, and I hope you enjoyed that goofy little intro I made. I've been wanting to do that for a long time, but I haven't had an opportunity until now because we have finally gotten a celebrity on the podcast, the one and only Lou Marullo, aka Eric Adams from the band Manowar, and recurring guest on the show, Chester Moore. They're back together to tell some hunting stories from our time down at the Hunt Fish Podcast Summit in Texas. And this is one of my favorite episodes. It's hilarious, so you're not going to want to miss it. So let's dive right into it.
All right, cool. We're rocking. Do I look like a hobo? Do I look like an idiot? Okay, here we go.
Yes, let's go.
All right, yay. I fit with everybody else.
We got a chicken joining us on the podcast. If you'd like to come over. No, okay. Not interested. Thank you guys. We got Lou here. We got Chester here. We're hunting. We're fishing. I don't know what we're doing. We're down at a podcast conference. So you guys have been doing some hunting and stuff together for quite a while.
We have.
So first off, before we dive into all that fun stuff and the stories of your lifetime careers,
Yes.
How's the hunting been down here in Texas at this wonderful Hunt Fish Podcast
It's been great. I mean, every time we've been out, we've been hearing the birds. Chester's been seeing the birds.
Yeah. I've seen hens, and I saw gobblers the first evening in a distance.
Flipping the birds.
But the problem is the combination of seeing hens, and then this morning it turned into hearing mass numbers of hens. It's translated to gobblers not interested in what we have to offer.
Yeah, no matter what I threw at him, and I threw everything except the kitchen sink. Believe me, I did. But I tried all my tricks, but nothing was working that time.
Yeah.
I was even thinking of doing the hat trick.
Oh, dude, he has this thing. He did it freaking me out in the blind. What are you doing, man? And it was like, this guy is a master in getting turkeys to cooperate. So.
I've heard you're the turkey calling master. That's what everyone's told me.
I've been calling for quite a while. It's a lot of fun, but I pull some tricks sometimes. You know, like when he was up in New York with me, and it was opening day of turkey season up there, and I said, this spot usually gets a bird. This is usually a pretty good place. And I said, normally they're right behind us, in these trees behind us. They're going to fly down to this field. And that day, I said, okay, it's starting to get light. I said, can you see the sights? You shoot using a shotgun. I said, can you see the sights? Yeah, I see them. I said, okay, I'm going to start my thing. So I do the tree calls first, real light tree calls. Nothing happened. I said, okay, fine. So then I yelp just real quietly, and then
Yeah.
like you're waking up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I go to fly down, and I take my hat off, and I said, now don't freak out over this. Okay, this is going to... So then I get, here we go. Now I took my hat, and I beat it against my leg as fast as I could, and I slowed it down eventually. And it sounded like a bird flying out of the tree. That sounds just like it, believe me. So when I do it, I also cackle, because sometimes they make that sound. Yeah. So
And I'm thinking this guy's either the master or has way too much freaking time on his hands when he's off tour. Like, how did you think of that? That was good,
The sad thing is nothing happened after that.
Zero.
So we had a few laughs in the blind, and nothing was going on until later on in the morning. And then I'm looking up the field, and I see this black blob that wasn't there before. And I said, there he is. We got our binoculars. I'm looking. I says, oh, he's a shooter. He's a nice one. He's nice. And he's looking at our setup, but he's not coming. He's walking a little bit and then stopping, strutting, and calling. He's coming a little bit further. He's not really moving too fast, So I said, okay, I got to talk dirty to this bird. I said, so I grabbed my slate call, and I did some purrs on the slate. I started off, I go, and I went, like that. Oh man, that was the trick.
That was it.
Got him.
Now, I'm on a quest to photograph that year, the Grand Slam, which is a Merriam's, an Osceola, a Rio Grande, and an Eastern all in the same year. So my goal is first get a picture of the bird. He's like, put that camera down. And I'm like,
Yeah, so these camera guys,
yeah.
right?
I'm like, okay, get the shotgun. And but he didn't mention this bird was actually in Connecticut when he called it in. I mean, it was way out there.
It was out there.
And I've been around turkeys for my whole life pretty much, and that was I've seen turkeys run away from things really fast. That was the fastest run to I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Oh, that was fun.
So I took a photo and blew its head off right afterwards.
That's what you want, man.
That's it, man.
yeah, that was fun.
The best of both worlds.
Yeah, so I'm pretty stoked to be down here. I mean, we got rock stars, we got Chester photography writing stars, we got podcast stars, and I don't know what I'm doing here. I have not a clue.
I hadn't figured that out either.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows how I made it down here. I like weasel my way in somehow.
You got to get your first turkey.
I know. I am so nervous. You guys were joking with me last night about my heart was going to explode. But so I talked to Chester in the past. Man, he's got a good career in hunting and hitting all this stuff. So how did you get into it? How'd that happen? I mean, I know it's not easy being a rock star, but hunting's hard.
You know what? I started with my dad. My dad took me out when I was real young, and I was so young he carried me on his shoulders. When I went out, we went out in the woods, and I still remember the smell of the fall smell of the woods, and
Beautiful.
And he set me down next to this big blowdown. I can see it to this day. I remember it, and he was there, and I saw a deer, and so did he, but he didn't make a sound. I'm the one who did. Dad, there's a deer, Dad! I was so excited. I was just a little kid. And he laughed about it. My dad he laughed about it. And he said, well, there he goes. Okay, that's a deer. That's what we're after. And then we didn't get anything that day, obviously. But it gave me that whole hunting experience that I never forgot it. You know, I never forgot it. And then I was kind of on my own until one day I was in high school, and I asked the guy who was sitting behind me, a friend of mine, I said, what are you doing this weekend? He says, I'm going to get my bow out and start shooting. I said, oh, you got a bow? Yeah. Get your bow. I says, I don't have a bow. He said, go get one. So, I go to the cheap store. I picked up some bow and wooden arrows and, a recurve bow. And I take about 10 shots with him in the backyard. And I said, okay, I'm ready. 10 shots, I'm ready to go. Let's go. And he took me out hunting with his father, and this story's great. I was in this fire break, and my friend was down below me. He couldn't see me because the hill went down, and he was below that. And we were facing the woods. His dad was in the woods walking towards us, okay? And the wind was crosswind, okay? And he was walking towards us. So I figured, okay, he's going to spook a deer our way. I was concentrating in the woods really hard. I'm concentrating. And then all of a sudden I hear... says, the hell is that? Looking around, what is that? I look, it's my buddy. He's whistling like that. I turn around, here comes a doe, a big doe, walking down right towards me. And I thought, oh my God. So he goes, so I go back, like I whistle back at him. Yeah, I'm ready. Oh man, I'm on the ground. I'm standing there. And doe comes walking up, and the doe was 15 yards away from me. They're feeding on something 15 yards away. I'm at full draw with a recurve. I pull the bow back. I said, oh, man, this is so easy. This is nothing. This is nothing. I let the arrow fly, and I hit it right in the hoof. and she jumped in the woods, and I said, how'd I miss that? What happened? She jumped in the woods and stood there looking at me, and I'm looking at her like, I don't know what to tell you. I missed. And I said, well, she's going to come back. She's going to get spooked right back. Never saw her again, obviously. And that was my beginning of bow hunting. And that feeling has never left. I love it like you can't believe.
You still get that rush?
If you don't get the rush, there's no sense in going out. There's no sense in going out because you aren't there to kill something. You're there to hunt, and it's different.
We literally just said that 10 minutes ago on
Yeah.
this podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's a truth, though.
It's like a universal truth of people who really enjoy the outdoors. It's like there's that rush of that moment, but it's also that overarching sense of peace and awe.
Yeah.
You're out there, we're looking right now at this valley, right?
Beautiful. Yeah, it is
Beautiful
gorgeous.
valley. And there's a question that goes along with that for me, that if I ever lose this question, I will quit what I do.
Mm-hmm.
What is out there?
Yeah.
I look at there, I'm thinking, well, how many of those turkeys might be out there? I mean, I bet in the deer season that valley would be, those
There's going to be one less tonight. I can tell you
Hopefully,
that right now.
hopefully 2 less tonight. I mean,
I mean, 3, maybe.
3. We're going to let you have one too.
That's
hopefully.
right.
Send some my way if you see any.
I wish I was with you when you pull up on a turkey coming into you because you think your heart was beating before.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
God!
maybe
wait.
if you bag one this afternoon, you can call him one in the morning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I've heard multiple people said you're the master.
I'm not a master.
Okay, so yeah, you guys know this, but we're in the cabin here right behind me, or whatever you want to call it, lodge, and Derek gave me this little I don't know, what do you even call that thing?
Kid's toy.
And he's like, you can use this out there to call. And I go out there and I'm sitting with Todd, who's over with who's over with Derek right now to do podcast.
Yeah.
He's like, I was like, should I do this thing? Should I try? He's like, yeah, go ahead. And I pull this thing and it goes. he's like, here, let me see that. I was just like, oh man, I just like made myself look like a complete jackass out there. But that's part of the process.
That's
I have no
part
idea
of the
what I'm
process. You got to learn how to do it. That's right.
Hey,
That's
I
right.
slammed the door one time of a truck, and I didn't mean to. We just have it out in the field
And
on
you
a
heard the
hunt,
gobble.
and the gobbles they were all over the place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
what? I'm doing all this crap calling. I just bring a door sound, and get the turkeys to come in. I mean, sometimes, you do all this scientific type calling or whatever, and just the stupidest thing works.
Right.
Hitting your freaking hat on your leg.
That works.
It worked.
it
works.
It's all about, from what everyone's told me as a newer hunter, everybody says it's all about knowing what they do. It's about knowing what they do, how they live, what they do is.
Yeah, and how to mimic it.
Well, I mean, what's your favorite animal to hunt? I mean, overall.
Turkey, without a doubt.
Really?
Without a doubt.
It's thrilling.
Because you're not hunting the turkey. The turkey's hunting you.
Yeah.
It's technical.
That's really good because the turkey is looking for you, and it's a question of how many times you're going to call. You don't want to give it away because if you're calling all the time, the bird's never going to gobble.
Yeah.
If you stop calling, all of a sudden now the bird is coming in, and he thinks you lost interest.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to gobble. Now you have an idea where he is. And it's a game you got to play because if you talk too much to the bird, he's going to know. Okay, look, hens don't do this.
Yeah.
This is something's up here. They're going to move on.
Well, they're not stupid.
No, they're not stupid. They are not stupid. And it's fun. I love it. I love it.
It is a rough. I mean, that compared to deer hunting, I mean, I've deer hunted quite a bit in the last few years, and you see them and you get you just get so excited. But it's not like their vision isn't as good as a turkey. Everybody's told me, like, if you move, it's over. Like, they're going to blow.
Nothing has vision like a turkey. It's a waterfowl, something I did for many years. It's very interactive as well, to a certain extent. But a lot of ducks have really good eyes. Mm-hmm. But there's nothing in nature I've ever been around that's remotely close to the eyes of a turkey. I mean, if they see you, like if a whitetail smells you, you're in trouble, right? Mm-hmm. But and he just said earlier, if they could smell like we do, we'd never kill them.
Never get them.
But the eyes of a turkey are really what you have to get past. They can hear really well too. Mm-hmm. So they're just a fascinating bird. And it's such an American bird, there's a great story behind, how Ben Franklin wanted to use a turkey as America's symbol instead of a bald eagle.
Right,
So there's such the first Thanksgiving. I mean, it's really a lot of history. But once you get out in the field, you hear that gobble, gobble, gobble. Man, it's awesome.
It sure is.
What? So you guys made that DVD. How many years ago is that?
Oh yeah,
it came out in 05, 06, right in there, the end of 05, 06.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
I watched it. Chester was on my show a few months ago, and he's like, "Yeah, we made this DVD." I'm sorry, I can't remember the name.
Wildlife and Wild Times.
Yeah.
You guys are in that. How did that come about? I mean, it's so cool to just watch you guys out there just stalking. You look like you're having so much fun.
I don't remember how we decided to do it. We just wanted to hunt.
Yeah, so I met him at a show, and my friend of mine and I, he was a reporter, and I was a wildlife writer, and we're metalheads. So we said,
wait, both of you?
Huh?
You both like metal?
Yeah, exactly. So we did this. We decided we were going to come up with a website called the Metal View. and we would get a chance to meet our favorite rock stars and talk metal, right?
Like The View, but with metal?
Yeah, it's before The View. I would never have named it that afterwards. Trust me, anything that makes me think of those people, I'm not gonna do that. So now that you ruined my day, no. So we did that, and we have met different people. I mean, I had the pleasure of interviewing Ronnie Dio, and just it was a lot of cool stuff. And so Manowar's coming to Dallas, and they don't play the States a whole lot. So me and a buddy of mine went to the show, and I called their management company to set up an interview, and I was hoping it would be him, and he shows up.
Wait a minute, hold it now. Let me back up now.
We're gonna hear the real story.
The real story.
I'm in the behind the scenes shit. This is it. I'm in my room upstairs, hotel room upstairs, and I've been doing interviews. Joey and I were switching days off. Who had the interview last time? Okay, it's my turn. And it just happened to be my turn that day. So I've been talking to people all day long, and I had to sing that night. I was like now, but I was exhausted when the showtime came. But I just didn't want to do any more. Chester was late for his interview.
I don't remember that part. That's what he says.
He was late, and so I went back upstairs, and just got my hotel room. I always have a turkey call with me, and I was in my hotel room. I'm just practicing purring and different clucks and see what sounds I can make with different calls that I had. And my phone rings. I pick it up, and it's my manager. He says, "Your final interview is here." I said, "He's late." He said, "But he's here. He came along." I said, "I don't give a shit if he's here." I said, "Fuck him. I'm not doing it. I'm tired." I love it.
Very Manowar.
He says, "Yeah, come on. You got it. This is the last one. Just cut it short. The last guy, I said, "Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, okay, I'll be down." So I didn't even take the turkey call out. I just got in the elevator, and I went downstairs, and elevator door opens up, and I walk out there, and he says, "I'm Chester Moore." He says, "How you doing? I'm Eric Adams. Nice to meet you." Shook hands with his friend there, and then Chester comes up to me. He says, "Well, before we do the interview," he says, "can I ask you a question?" I said, "Sure, what?" He says, "I read someplace that you're a big hunter."
Yeah.
He said, "Now, is that bullshit? Is that true, or what is that?" I moved my turkey call, moved it, and I'm in a 5-star hotel lobby. I'm there.
Now, my guitar player was with me from my band at the time, who was a mega Manowar fan. And
Did he cry?
And he goes, "We're in." That's what he goes. He leaned over in front of him and goes, "We're in." And I'm going, "Thank you."
That's like a movie. That's like something happens in a sitcom or something.
He was a sitcom, that guy.
Yeah, so that was good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun. That was
so
fun.
the
That's how it started.
DVD, we started doing. He said, "What about filming a few things?" And then we had some meetings, and we ended up doing the DVD, which won Excellence in Craft from Texas Outdoor Writers Association that year. Ended up beating out like Texas Parks and Wildlife and a lot of other great programming, and we're very proud of that. So that was a lot of fun to do. But the more important part is we became friends.
Yeah.
And we've got to hunt and fish all over the country together, and that's been a crazy adventure because it's like culture clash.
Yeah, it was good.
Here's the guy from Texas, and here's the guy from New York, right? And so it's just always an adventure. Like, I scared him with all these hog stories and rattlesnake stories, and almost die freezing up there. So it was like an even trade-off.
I feel like he's more in danger of freezing up by you than you are of coming down here.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. When he came up to hunt deer once, he came up in the dead of winter, and I mean the dead of winter. It was cold, the wind was howling, but he was here. So my buddies we're going to take him out hunting. We're going to show him what this is all about. So we all went out to the spot and put Chester up in this tree. And
let me back up now.
Oh, God.
So they take me this tree that's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, like this. And it's frozen with ice.
What do you want?
And it has a little ladder like this, one of those cute little public land ladders. You go like this. And I'm supposed to climb about 15 feet on this thing, dressed like the kid on Christmas Story. Couldn't get up.
I know that feeling.
That was me. And I'm up in this tree, and it's like lake
cold.
effect snow, and like it was winds blowing.
It was cold. It was so cold I wanted to take a shit just to have something warm to sit on for a while. It was cold.
I've been there, man.
It was cold.
I was about to die, and his friend Jay was filming this, and so they call me on the radio.
Yeah,
and they go, "Chester, there's a deer coming. There's a doe. She's coming right down the creek towards you."
And Chester's like this.
No,
trying to keep warm.
I literally said, I'm climbing out of the stand. I literally got out of the stand. I said, I'm done. I couldn't pull back if I wanted to. I was so freaking cold. I said, we got these deer in Texas. I'll see you down in Texas.
Oh, man.
You can keep New York deer. Let's go do something in the warm months.
Welcome to the North, buddy.
Exactly. Well, I told him back then, I said, this is a true story. I said, I'm pretty much a lot about waterfowl. And I said that the brain of a duck is about that big. And when they fly freaking south in the winter, and I was like, I know why they go south now. It was unbelievable.
Genius.
Yeah.
Smartest animals on the planet.
There you go. I got you.
Yeah, that's why I'm down here right now. It's super beautiful. But that DVD was sweet, man. You guys run around. I think I bought like one of the last 2 copies you can find online.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
really?
That's awesome.
It was awesome. I forgot to bring it too. Derek wanted to watch it, but I forgot it because I brought all this crap instead, all these cameras and stuff. You guys done any other stuff together besides that?
I'll send you one, Derek.
Okay. Oh, you got a couple. You're holding out on us. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we've, just every few years we get together and hunt and fish, or mainly hunt. I'll come up there and like the turkey season in New York is only till noon. So I went fishing with his friend Mike. We went stream fishing for brownies, caught brown trout on the stream. And I like it because like we have great fishing in Texas. We have like one river that has year-round trout, the Guadalupe. And the stream at my house, you catch like grinnell, which are bowfin, and like mudcats. I go behind this little league in town. I'm catching brownies and stuff. And I'm like, dude, I would love this. This is awesome. So we do that kind of stuff and just keep in touch. And he's hog hunted and killed some big hogs here in Texas and with me.
Shit
and stuff
my pants, though. I was scared to death.
Really?
First time I was down, this guy's telling me, there's these hogs, they'll chase you. They stay on the hillside and come after you. You got to be careful. They can kill you. They'll go right for your legs and pull up, and you'll bleed to death before you get any help at all. These are really bad. And don't forget about the scorpions. There's scorpions everywhere you go. Spiders will kill you. You got to be careful of the spiders. You got some badass bees here, killer bees, fire ants. You got to be careful.
So I think it's all true.
And I'm telling him, I says, fuck you. I said, the only thing you got to worry about up north is whether or not you're going to fall on your ass because of the ice. I said, you got nothing to worry about anything when you're out in the woods. Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, I haven't done any hunting and stuff in New York, but I mean, I'm all over Ohio all the time, and this is a whole new ball game for me. He did the same thing to me. We had a little meeting before we came down here. He's like, yeah, you guys, come down to Texas. You make sure you get some tall boots and some snake chaps. I thought he was messing with me.
Oh no!
And I was like, okay, well, do I really need that? You're like, nah. Well, I don't know. And we pull up to the place where Derek's land lease, and he's pulling through his stuff. And he's pulling out snake chaps. I'm like, shit. Was I really supposed to bring that? Like, you can't even buy those in Ohio, I don't think.
No, you can't.
Like, what am I supposed to do?
Look, we have all this stuff here. The chances are it's not going to kill you, but it's always in the back of your mind. And you mentioned this. This brings back a memory. We're on the first hunt we ever did with Keith Warren in Bracketville. Well, I shot like a 26-pound Rio. He killed. I think that was the first one he killed with the bow, right?
That was the first one with the bow I got.
So it was a great hunt. And me and Keith's cameraman are dropped off on this Sendero, which is a little road in the middle of nowhere. And he drops us off. There's nowhere around us to go. And I hear, it sounded like a drone now. But back then I thought it was like an ultralight airplane. I'm going, and I look up, and I kid you not, there is a swarm of bees that's bigger than this whole building facility. It cast a shadow for 3 or 4 seconds over us, and it flew over us. And I'm like, don't move.
Out of here.
No, true story.
He said that, don't move, don't move.
I said, don't move, don't think, don't breathe, just don't look. And he goes, what? Just shut up and don't move.
Oh, man.
And I'm sitting there, and he goes, what is that going over? I said, it's freaking bees, dude. In the name of Jesus, please don't die. I'm freaking out, man. And I wasn't walking with the Lord back then, but I'm calling out some prayers like, remember me, Lord. And they go past us. He goes, was that bees? I said, yes. And so I said, turn the camera on. I said, okay. I said, you hear all these things about different kind of animals and reacting to fear. They say bees can smell fear. I have just proven that a lie. I have never been so terrified in my entire life. Because most of the bees down close to Mexico down there are the Africanized bees, So, chances are they're not going to get you. But once again, there was a movie called like Swarm in the 1970s I saw as a TV movie, and it was in the back of my mind. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Probably say they can smell fear because that's just you shitting your pants.
That didn't happen. Maybe that's why I didn't attack. I held off.
See?
That kind of thing.
Smart.
Yeah.
So, do you hunt everything with bow? You're hunting turkey down here with bow.
I try to hunt everything with bow. I mean, I'm not afraid to use my rifle either, but I prefer bow hunting. If the season closes and I haven't got my freezer's still empty, or I've got a lot of tags left, well, then I'll grab the rifle and go out there and fill my freezer. But I really prefer hunting with a bow. I really do.
Well, and so you two write together as well for, I'm sorry, the magazine.
Texas Fish and Game.
There's so many fish. Yes, Texas.
Yeah.
You write for Texas Fish and Game. You're from New York?
Yeah.
How's that work?
Well, we have a boating editor from Maryland, so there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's just we when it come time when I was executive editor and I'm editor in chief, there was a slot open for our hunting editor, and I was looking for someone that was like a regular guy type of hunter who's like goes and does it, like, you know, will go cut his own shooting lanes and, you know, go out and scout and stuff like that. I said, man, we got to go with Lou, and he's a creative, funny guy. So I thought, you know, he'd be really good for the role, and that really was the thing. Is with Texas Fish and Game, we always try to make it for whether you're a billionaire or can barely afford to buy a license, you know. Mm-hmm. So he fit that role so much, and we wanted to integrate more archery stuff in there. So there's always going to be a lot of the archery stuff with him and turkey. Yep. So that's how that worked. He's been writing for us for like 14 years.
Wow. Like has it been that long?
Yeah, like 14, 15 years, yeah.
Well, it must not suck if you think if it
I
went by
enjoy
that
it.
quick.
I enjoy it. You know, I take what really happens sometimes, really happens, and I go to school on it, and I tell what I do, you know, in the magazine. Like when it says I cut lanes out. Yeah, I cut lanes because I was in a tree stand one day and I saw the deer just out of my just out and they're walking out to the cornfields, and I'm thinking, well, I got to get those deer to come my way. So I get down and I took a bunch of heavy branches and knocked them down and made a path. I cut a pathway right by my stand. Yeah, and deer, lazy animals, are going to follow the easiest route, and it worked like a charm. They came walking right down to me. I saw them coming. Oh, this is beautiful. It was great.
Yeah, and I mean, I was telling Chester, I mean, I got into hunting probably 3-4 years ago now, and it's just such a game changer. I mean, I do a lot of stuff. Like, I do music, I do video, audio, all that's like dorky shit that takes a lot of time and effort. But this is my like area where I can just not worry about it.
Yeah.
I can sit out in here.
Well, you do have to worry about it. We just told you about the goddamn snakes and the
now look,
shit.
it's like he's passing it on now.
Can
like
I tell you something? Every time
how many ways can I die here?
This
today?
morning was no different than any other morning or any other time now. I walk down to the blind down there, and the very first thing I do is turn on my flashlight, and I look inside that blind, and I really look at everything in that blind to make sure there's nothing crawling in there that can kill me.
See, I'm not that cautious yet. I need to get bitten.
Wait till you hear in the dark, and then you might be.
Yeah, I'll probably shit my pants. So what's better, Texas, New York? Which one do you like hunting
Texas, without a doubt.
Really? Yeah.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
It's amazing down here.
Well, you know what it is? You can hunt so many different animals here than, you know, up in New York, they have the laws. They're crazy laws sometimes in New York. We just told you. I mean, hunting turkeys in New York, it's over at noon. And if you got a big boss gobbler coming in and it's 5 minutes to 12 and you're not going to get him in time,
that is ridiculous.
That's the way it goes. So you got a choice of either breaking the law, hoping the game warden's not waiting for you at the car, or
you're out.
Or you're done for the day and come back another day. Down here in Texas, sun up to sundown. Well, not even.
Well, if it's exotics or hogs, after sunset, you know? I mean, you know, and it's interesting you say that about Texas because I would agree. But I will say this, on freshwater fishing, taking out largemouth bass, which we destroy everybody but Florida on in Texas, they got better freshwater fishing up there. Yeah. I mean, you got to figure they have you know, brown trout, they have salmon, you know, they got walleye, they got crappie, they got a lot of smallmouth, they got pickerel, they got pike, they got all that stuff. So on the freshwater fishing front, I would give New York the nod. Yeah, you got to take the largemouth bass out because, you know, I mean, come on, we didn't invent the Florida bass, we just improved on what Florida did here in Texas.
Well, do you ever get on the lakes, the Great Lakes?
You know, I do sometimes, but it's not my thing. I'll do it if nobody else is. If somebody
boring.
You know, it's okay. As long as if there's beer in the boat, I'll go. You know, that's.
Now that is what I'm talking
you know
about.
What
You're the only one drinking with me last night.
Hey, you see that? Yeah. See that? I'll drink you tonight too.
All right, a deal. I'll be there.
And I'm the guy up in the back of the boat obsessed about how deep the lure is, and we're running right into the right level because I might be catching a pike. You know, that's that kind of stuff. Because
I can see that. There's a dichotomy there.
It's really good where I live because it's the Finger Lakes area, and so you know you've got every lake is known for a certain fish, which is really cool. When he came up, I says, "Yeah, we'll go to Skinny Atlas Lake. We get some rainbows, Skinny Atlas." Yeah, he thought it was
So
Skenados.
look. I know you'll make fun of Texans and our draw in the South. You tell me how skinny Atlas is. Skaneatles.
It's
Probably is Native American.
Skinny Atlas. I'm like,
You come up north, we got some pretty crazy names and stuff.
Anyway, I just want to say Skenados. That's in my.
But everything down here is like half in Spanish too, so it's
That's
hard.
true.
It's the same thing. I'm like,
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Well, you
But
said
we
that-
have, we got the rainbows in Skinny Atlas Lake.
Yeah.
And
we did lake trout somewhere.
and there's a certain way to fish them too in Skinny Atlas Lake. Believe it or not, you lose worm and a marshmallow.
Yeah.
I know. As weird as that sounds.
Where do we do the lake trout? What lake was that?
The lake trout are in Owasco Lake.
Owasco. Okay, that's right. Owasco.
Owasco. You go another lake over. It's Cayuga Lake, and they're known for bass.
Yeah. You know what's cool about that for me going up there and like the trade-off of him coming down to Texas, he never got to hunt hogs, Rio Grande turkeys. I could help facilitate that here in exotics and then up there on the freshwater fishing scene because a lot of the stuff that I would sit and look at Field and Stream and Outdoor Life and Sports Afield, I was getting to do. So that was just a really awesome thing for me to get there and catch lake trout and salmon and brown trout and smallmouth and things I never caught here. So that was, and that's one of the fun things I think people who now because of the internet and how we can partner with people around the country and around the world, what a great opportunity for us to trade out what we do have to offer,
Yeah, and so I mean, have you hunted anywhere else besides Texas?
Oh yeah, I've hunted South Dakota, Missouri. Where else have we gone?
Indiana?
In Indiana, hunted Indiana.
Neighbors to Ohio.
Yeah. Word to the wise for anybody who's watching this or listening to this, okay? If you're going to go with a bow and you're going to go on a trip someplace where TSA has to check your bow and open it up and they put a paper in saying that it's good, you're not going to blow anything up. They cover it back up and lock it up and everything. Test your bow, shoot at a target before you go hunting. Because here's what happened to me. I went to Indiana and I was doing a TV show out there. And it was for Nathan Jones' Wild Extremes is the name of the show. And we were going to turkey hunt. And I got pretty accurate with a bow. And he's a great caller and he's got decoys that look real. They are real. They're stuffed birds. It's really, really perfect. So we went out there. A blind was set up in the middle of a field. And I questioned that. And he said, don't you worry about it. These birds, they don't care about these blinds. They'll walk right up. They don't care. And I believe it because that's exactly what happened. We're out there in the middle of a field. He's calling. Big gobbler comes in. And he's filming it. And I says, here we go. Gobbler gets out about 25 yards. That's a gimme shot, right?
Yeah.
I pull the bow back. I'm at full draw. I asked him, I says, you got him on film? He says, yeah, all set. Shoot anytime. I get ready to go. I shoot. I put my 20-yard pin on him just a little bit. And I go, boom, let the arrow fly. I missed the bird by 2 feet.
Oh, that sucks.
And I looked at the camera and I says, I suck. What else am I going to say? It's a live, it's a television show.
And he's a horrible misser. All right.
Meltdown
I really
supreme.
am. I go crazy. I go nuts.
This story right here is one that needs to be told because of what's happening here.
What happened is that I said, how could I be that far off? Yeah. It's crazy. I was comfortable. I wasn't nervous. Well, I got back to the ranch and I took some practice shots, missed the target entirely. So I looked at my sights. Somebody at the TSA thought it was funny to move my sights just a little bit and lock my bow up.
Yeah, man.
So remember that when you want to go on a trip, make sure those sights didn't move. So now I mark it with a pencil, and there you go. You know where the sight is.
With the bow hunting, I just got into bow within the last 2 years because it takes your season from a week to infinite, you know, where I live, and it's super hard. It is very technical. For me, the hardest part was always, it's not just about pulling it back the same way every time. It's about your stance. It's about how you're lined up, and it's really difficult. So, and I had a really shitty bow. That didn't help at all. But a lot of those dudes out west.
Blame it on the bow. That's good.
Yeah, always blame it on the bow. It ain't my fault, damn it. I'm good. But the out west, some of those dudes are shooting 100-yard shots, kill shots. I mean, that's
nuts. I would never. I don't recommend that. I would never do that.
Crazy.
I mean, you're looking at a kill zone. The breadbasket is your kill zone, right? And so you want to make sure, it's where most blood loss is going to be, and that's where you want to hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if 100 yards, I mean, come on, you can have the fastest arrow in the world, and you may be accurate at 100 yards for the Olympics. That's great. But at an animal, you have to have respect for that animal. If you're going to shoot at 100 yards, the deer just walks one step in front. before your arrow gets there, you're going to wound that deer. And I don't care. It's just not worth it. You owe it to the animal, and you owe it to the other hunters that hunt to respect that animal. And taking a wild shot like that is absolutely insane. You know, I mean, I won't take a shot in an open field. I won't take a shot more than 40 yards. I won't do it.
Yeah, you know,
50 at tops, maybe.
Social media has pushed that a lot because now because of the Twitter universe, 144 character world we live in, right? Everything is down to pretty much the kill shot now.
Yep.
So you got highlight reels. The most watched hunting videos are usually an animal attack, which I like, or a compilation of kill shots. And the journey's not there. So it's all about, well, I can one up, and you know, God bless great marksmen, but I'd have to call in an airstrike at a deer 1,000 yards away. You know what I mean? You know, that's not my gig. You know, so it's all about whatever you're able to do ethically. You know, and I don't call myself a bow hunter. I'm a hunter, but bow hunting is probably 50% of what I do. If you sum total everything, including like waterfowl and things like that, obviously I'm not that good, but on that bow hunting
This
side
is going
of
on
things,
social media. You should say that you are that good.
Yeah,
rewind
that's
that.
okay. I'm gonna try to think on honesty. It's really weird.
No, I 100% agree.
But on the bow hunting side, it makes you train your whole experience to get close. And there's something about drawing back and being able to look the animal and see its eyelids and eyelashes and being that close and be able to, instead of you don't say pick a spot, you know, you draw back. Sometimes I've picked a tick that I saw, you know, to be able to have that level of detail, you know, and do that, and closing the distance is a lot more fun for me than going, well, it's 1,800 yards away and I have to aim 7 feet high and hope that it doesn't shake its behind before I shoot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah. What's you had any crazy shit happen out in the woods? I mean, well, obviously we all have, but craziest shit.
Oh man. Well, one time I told Chester this. He did a story on the most dangerous animal in the woods.
Yep.
And it happens to be humans.
Yep.
And that's the truth.
Yep.
I was hunting down in Ithaca, New York, and it was a long walk to my stand. The only way I can walk there is walking a railroad track all the way up to where my stand is. And so because it was such a long walk, I got there very early, and I left well before sunrise, right? And I'm walking along. I got to have a flashlight. I'm walking across bridges and stuff on railroad tracks, and I'm walking along, and I caught something ahead of me. I kind of flashed at it, and it was a guy. I don't know what the hell he was doing there, what was going on. He was walking towards me, and I looked at him, and he looked like, I don't know what to tell you. He looked like he had blood all over his face. He looked like shit, and I'm thinking, okay, all right, what's this guy?
The bloody guy.
What's he gonna do here? What's this guy gonna do? And I just walked by him. He was walking this way, and I kind of nudged to the right, and I walked by him, but I kept listening. My ears were like a deer's ear, turned the other way, focused on hearing what's going to happen here. And that scared the hell out of me. And anything could have happened at that point.
Sure.
You know, what the hell was that guy doing out there?
Was he like just freaking out?
He wasn't hunting. He wasn't
dressed normal.
He was dressed normal. He was
woods.
shitty clothes. He was a bum. He was just like a bum who was hanging out in that area, right?
Covered in blood.
Holy shit!
I mean, why not?
Is there any songs about that?
That's more Cannibal Corpse.
A good day to die.
Man, I've got chased off a mountain in Northern California by drug pushers.
Yeah.
In a chase down a mountain. That was the craziest thing that ever happened to me. And it was in 2002, and me and my dad went up there. I went and did a great white shark cage dive, and since we were in the Pacific Northwest, me and Dad decided to go exploring. And I had some Gen 3 night goggles, and we're in this area, and I look down, and I see, we're told at the top of this mountain, there's the Thule elk and all that. We're rutting. He said, you're going to see tons of elk and all this stuff, and bears, and all the Chester kind of stuff, you know. And I'm like looking, and I see this light beam come up. I said, Dad, there's someone down there. And we're not, when this is in the middle of nowhere, we're talking a long way away. He said, I don't see a light. I said, I don't either. Put goggles back on. Yep, it's shining right here. And it clicked. Someone had night vision and an infrared light that can only be seen. So I had heard that there was drug growers and stuff out there, but you know, they're all over the country. I had no idea the depth out there.
Yeah.
So we throw our junk in the vehicle, and by the time I turn the lights on, we were on like a road that split on top of the mountain. The other side, headlights turned on. So somebody down here signaled to that person. And they were about 5 seconds behind me hitting that road. And I kid you not, I am from Orange, Texas. I live at 10 feet elevation. I'm in 8,000 foot elevation on a mountain driving. It's dangerous just driving.
Yeah.
I'm going 70, 80 miles an hour at some points on the straightaways trying to get away. They're trying to hit us. And I got up calling the Forest Service the next day, and they said, "You're lucky you made it alive, but our drug pushers there." Well, thank you. You could put, drug pushers in the woods sign or whatever.
And they kill tourism, though.
Yeah, exactly. 2 years ago, probably grow tourism, sadly, but 2 years ago, I go to the National Wild Turkey Federation show and meet some Forest Service game wardens. I'd never met some that worked for the Forest Service itself. And the guy said he had worked in Humboldt County, California. And I said, "Dude," I told him my story. He goes, "You're lucky you made it out alive." So I hear he goes, "Go watch Murder Mountain." And it's a series on Netflix about that area and all that stuff. So that's kind of on my end one of the crazier. And other than being charged by hogs several times and that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah, but we want to tell everybody hunting is fun.
It's
It's fun.
It's a safe activity for the family.
It's fun like a roller coaster. It's supposed to scare the shit out of you every once in a while.
So there was a time my friend found the Ted Bundy inscription in Utah in the woods. So that's fun for the family, That actually happened.
Yeah, you've told me that story. I think
on your last
yesterday.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ted Bundy escaped prison, and Chester's friend found him in the woods.
Found the inscription in the woods. Josh Sloan did, yeah.
Oh, God.
He sends me a text after he got to it on the way home. He said, "I found this so far off trail." And it said Ted Bundy, 1971. That's the year he escaped prison in Utah. So
That's messed up.
so talk about scary stuff in the woods.
So what's the game plan for this evening on the hunt? What's your strategy?
If it's
so I can
brown,
steal it.
it's down. If it flies, it dies.
That's a good strategy. I like that.
No,
Try
I
to
don't
learn
know.
from the pros here.
We've got
Where are they?
We've got birds. We've got birds in the area, and every time we're around there, we're just trying to zone in on where these birds are, and we've changed strategies a little bit this afternoon.
Yeah.
They seem to be the ones I'm hearing seem to be behind me, about 45-degree angle behind me and down the hill a little further. So I moved my blind down there. That's where I'm going to be this afternoon. Chester heard this big one
Twice. Yesterday evening and then this morning. And I'm going kind of the same thing he's doing. I'm going down into the draw. And we're right at the tail end of the season here, so I'm not worried about spooking them away. I'm going to just get down there and be real quiet and get there early and just sit and wait. And if I hear him call, I'm going to try to talk to him and get him to come down. Maybe in that open space, maybe they're afraid right now because of the pressure to come out into the fields. So maybe that little opening that's in that thicket, get that head to pop up around long enough so I can blow it off.
See, the point is that right now, the end of the season, but also the hens aren't active after a certain hour. They were this morning, but shortly after, about the time we quit hunting, actually, the hens go to their nest, and they've got to lay their eggs, so they lay on their eggs, and that's when the toms are still walking around looking for some action, and that's the best time to get them. So we're hoping that, 4:30, 5 o'clock, we can still call one in. He's still looking, you know what I mean? So we'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky.
Yeah, I still have the thrill. Like, I'm super excited to get back out there.
Yeah.
This midday break for the podcast sessions we're doing is just killing me. I want to go out there and shoot something. But one thing, I guess, before we kind of wrap up here, I don't want to keep you too long. You already did a podcast before this one.
Yeah.
So does like this outdoor stuff, it's kind of like a lifestyle, it's not like a hobby or like a thing. It's just like part of what you do at this point, like all of us. That's why we're here. That's why we love it. So, but is that like when you do music and stuff, does that have any effect on you? Like just like lyrically or like with anything, is it filter in? I asked this to all of my friends who are musicians or anything, even Chester. Like, does it have an impact?
Does what have
The
an
outdoor,
impact?
like being an outdoorsman, a hunter. Or do you
That's
just
a real good question.
Or is there a strict separation?
I think there's more of a separation, which is what I love more about hunting. Again, if I don't see an animal, that's okay. That's okay. I still love being out there. And there's one spot when I first started hunting that was it was a green pasture way up in the on this hill, and my tree stand was on the edge of that, so I could look down this green pasture, and beyond that I could see the city of Ithaca way off in the distance, and it was the most peaceful time, and it was like man, that's just beautiful. That is just gorgeous. And I'm looking at this whole scenery here, and it didn't matter. Yeah, if the deer came, that's fine. You know, that's fine too. But there are days when I say, boy, I hope deer don't come and ruin my day. Because I'm really having a great time here. This is beautiful.
Just chilling.
You know, I love being in the woods, and I love, you know, having the woods wake up around me when they don't know I'm there. Mm-hmm. You know, that is the coolest feeling for me, you know. And it's quiet, it's peaceful, and in Manowar, it's not quiet at all.
Yeah,
it sure as hell isn't peaceful. It's really ass-kicking. So, you know, it's a different thing. It's a whole different thing. I escape the music world by going in the woods and calming things down.
Well, I imagine it can be pretty stressful doing the like touring and stuff and being in the studio. I mean, I barely scratch the surface on any of that stuff, and it just kicks your ass. It's long days. And that is why I love coming out here. You get to just like, life's stressful. You get to come out here though, like waking up at 4 a.m., no big deal to come out here. I'll go sit out there all day. We came in, I was like, are you sure we got to go in? I can stay hungry for a few more hours. I ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful out here.
Yeah. It's gorgeous.
This ranch, I've never been to this anywhere down here, so this is extremely beautiful. What do you guys, is this your first time here?
No. First time at this ranch, yeah.
I've known Gene for a year or two, but I've never been to the ranch, you know. And but, you know, this is kind of a representative in terms of the habitat and terrain, but they've done a lot to augment that and to, you know, I'm doing a story with them actually on being able to transform the habitat back to a better state in terms of these cedar trees that soak up so much water, drought. So they're putting a lot of work into it, and the reason we're seeing abundant game is because of the heart and soul of the people who have the place and the work. And, you know, I was in metal bands for 18 years just as, like, I like playing music. I chose to be a journalist instead, you know. And but even now, you know, there's a whole lot more time in front of a computer than there is in the great outdoors for me.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just the way it works. It's the outdoors business for me. So when I actually get an extended time to be out here, you know, it's like cleanses the soul, you know, and I feel closer to God out here. And I also just get to do what I wanted my whole life from as early as I can remember. The main thing I wanted to do was be in wild places and see wild things. And I look out, like I talked about, wondering what's out there. You know, I may be in the tucked away under that cedar today, and you know, have the decoy in front of me. I may not see a turkey, but I might see a ringtail, or a red fox, or a white-tailed deer. And all those things enhance my life because those are the things I've dreamed about. So being able to connect with that is a win, no matter if I get a turkey or not. But I say that all that stuff's wonderful, but the grand prize would be the turkey.
I'm going to kill a turkey.
We're going to try to kill a turkey.
Yeah. If I don't hear a gunshot by 8 p.m., I'm going to be mad. Well, I can't hear your bow, obviously. No, you won't. Unless it's a really good
I might give a yee-haw. I might give one of those.
Yell as loud as you possibly can.
There we go. You got it.
That's Lou. He's screaming.
There you go.
Well, hey, thank you guys for coming on. Chester, again, Lou, for the first time. Welcome.
All right, man.
And I can't wait to get out there and hunt with you guys a little bit. And I hope you guys both get turkeys.
Good luck. I want you to get your first bird. I want you to do it. I want to hear all about it over dinner tonight.
You hear about me shitting my pants? Wait.
That already happened, didn't it?
Wait. No. You're not done yet.
Okay.
We've been laughing all day. I want to hear the story we talked about earlier. You've been making fun of me all day for. Chester, please.
So this is bizarre. So we're talking about human dangers in the woods, and I talked about there was a situation many years ago on a deer lease I was on, and I go up to this mysterious blind on the lease, right? And the blind door is open. It's out of the season, so I don't mind getting close to it. And the whole outside of the door is covered with like porn. And I'm gonna go, what the heck is this? And I look in, and this is a 3-person blind, huge. The entire interior of the blind is porn pictures. And where the spaces on the wall where there isn't porn, they drew porn. And I'm going, and you'll wonder why I say the most dangerous things in the woods is people.
And what do we call that?
What did you call that?
What did I call that? That's the Jack Shack.
The Jack Shack.
You got to live out on the Jack Shack, man.
I plead the blood of Jesus. I'm out of here, guys.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this episode of the Aptitude Outdoors Podcast here on YouTube. If you can, help me out. Go down below. Hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're feeling up to it, head over to iTunes or Stitcher and leave a podcast or rating or review. I would doubly appreciate that. want to take a minute to thank Lou and Chester for coming on and sharing their awesome and hilarious stories from a lifetime in the outdoors. You can learn more about those guys by searching their names on the internet. They're all over. Chester's always posting cool stuff, and, well, Lou's a famous rock star. So if you can't find him, you got bigger issues to work on. Before we go, I want to take a minute here to say thank you to the sponsors from the Hunt Fish Podcast Summit event. So let's hit it. All right, first up, there's Chicken Boy Lures, who arguably have the greatest backstory of all time, which you can check out for yourself at chickenboylures.com. They have plenty of proven baits to choose from, including the Whippin' Chicken, the Bubba Clucker, the Psycho Chicken, and the world-famous Chicken Chip Butt Sauce. Up next, we have Captain Experiences, where adventurers are able to search captainexperiences.com to find charter fishing trips that meet their criteria, compare and contrast them, book within seconds, and show up to the dock with a great understanding of who they're meeting and what they'll be doing. Guides can focus on fishing, knowing that Captain Experiences will take care of the rest. And last but not least, we have Saltwater Recon. By utilizing the latest technology in live high-definition interactive webcams, saltwaterrecon.com is the know-before-you-go resource for millions of people, whether boating, fishing, or observing real-time coastal conditions. Saltwaterrecon.com's array of HD cameras combined with expert boating, fishing, and weather content will give visitors the information needed to plan a safe and successful day on the water. And before we go, I'd like to quickly thank the Double Draw Ranch for hosting us, Spot Stalker Guide Service, which is Derek's charter company. You should definitely check out if you're ever in the Houston area. The Vanessa House Beer Company, 7 Day Addiction, and Metro Emergency Upfitters. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.